Hey, welcome back. Gary Brown Forging On. We'll talk to you about a few things today. I'm going to go over a knife sharpener, but I picked this stuff up and thought I'd show you a comparison. I bought this. It's actually a Craftsman. You see it there. It's a 25-foot tape measure. It locks on the bottom in place. Come with brakes getting a little wore out, or you can lock it down on the top. This tape measure, I can't remember exactly when I bought it. I had two of them, and they're probably 30 to 35 years old. Back when I bought these and was first using them, it was when Craftsman replaced anything, so Craftsman on it gave them just replaced them. And I've had the tapes break before while working with them, and just took them in there and they handed me another one. Then years later, I was had moved from Florida up to Tennessee, and even the tapes get a little wore out. But I moved up here, and then they started getting where they wouldn't replace them, but they would give you the whole new tape cartridge, and you would unscrew it and you'd replace it that way, and I've done some of those. The only thing wrong with this one is the belt loop thing broke off. It's actually plastic, but this was metal, but the rest of it's plastic. And it still is a good tape measure. I still use it and all the time. And then the second one I had, finally something plastic inside broke that wouldn't hold it. The tape part's still good, but it wouldn't hold it anymore. Let me see if I still have it. I might be able to use this. You probably can't tell. I actually welded that. It broke off once before and I welded it, but I'm giving up on it this time. I actually went and bought a replacement. And now this is a 1 inch tape blade on it, and this is a 1 1/4 inch. Both of them are 25 feet. Definitely a different material, nice and shiny. I was going to get the one with the magnet on the end, but I thought in a blacksmith shop, it'll get stuck to everything under the sun. And it'll pick up all the slag and everything and just be messy. So this was like $14 something, $15. They made better ones, but I figure this will last. Still plastic. Doesn't have the extra locking mechanism the other one did, but that's all right. It'll work. I haven't even taken it off yet. I'll probably break it. So yeah, just wanted to show you that. Old to new, just like me, except I'm just old. No new involved. So anyway, I was bringing over. I got so much junk over here. Bringing over from my old shop where we used to live. I found this old rusty blade from I don't know how old this thing. It was in some of my father-in-law's old stuff, I think. Probably belonged to like his father. So who knows how old this thing is. Extremely rusty. I thought about putting it in some, what's that, Evapor Rust. Ran across this looks like an old kitchen knife. And I thought I'll put that in there too to see what it does. Don't know why. And I ran across a piece of this. And what this is the very first knives I made, probably 25 years ago. I still have some around here. I was given some bandsaw blades like this, a big old long coil of it. It goes on those portable sawmills where they cut lumber up and run it across through there and they trailer it behind. A guy gave me a whole bunch they had broke, and he gave me some old ones. And all I did is I ground off the teeth, and you end up with a 1 inch piece of good flexible hard steel. And probably 25 years ago, I made kitchen knives, and I shaped them with a grinder, never seen a knife made. This was in the 90s, so there was no internet, there was no YouTube. And I was getting some Knife Illustrated magazines, and I bought some cocobolo wood, and I made handles, and I pinned them. And the handles are a little big for my wife and that, but I like them. I made them along the big side. And I made a set. I made some kitchen knives for me and for my wife, my in-laws, for my sister, for my mom, and gave them as Christmas presents. But this is, if you don't get it blue, you know, don't lose the temper on it. Just grind it. And all I actually did was on my workbench, the old place, I actually put some nails in the workbench and left the heads up just enough that this would slide up under, so that the edge of it was sticking out off, you know, like the workbench is back here, and it was sticking out over the workbench. And I'd run a file, and I'd just sit there and file and put an edge on it that way with the files. So basically I just use a grinder to shape it just lightly so it wouldn't lose the temper, and then put a file, and then I'd drill some holes in it like I was doing on this for the rivets, and I bought a bag of rivets, and then I'd shape the handles, put them on there, and still using them in the kitchen today. It makes great knives. So just throwing that out there. Anyway, let's get to the main topic, which is going to be, I'm going to switch the camera around, it's going to be this knife sharpening kit that I got. So just a second. Okay, so this is the original box it came in, but there's no name on the box. And it says a warning, knives are dangerous, observe safety rules at all times. I'll see if I can find, I actually have it came with a VHS tape, because I bought this in the 90s. Me and another guy I worked with each bought them. And the reason we like them is because, as you can see, it comes with you can use a regular stone, a two-sided stone on it. And you just have to have an Allen wrench. I got two of them, but you just have to have the one. And so put one back in here, put it in the box, try to set it somewhere out of the way. Usually I lay down some paper towels. So this is the machine. I'm sure, I don't know if he had a patent on it or what, but you see how much you can see here. You see on the barrel, it's got your degrees of sharpening. This will focus. Oh, it says patent pending. And then you adjust little plastic screws, which you can make one of these pretty easy nowadays with a 3D printer, which they didn't have back then. And then you have this, and it pivots to hold the knife blade. And see, this barrel comes off, and then there's this spring, and this threads down inside. Well, that doesn't thread. It just goes down inside. It's got a set screw. Never mind. And so he's got these little rubber feet. In the video, he actually says you clamp those feet against the edge of the table, like, you know, like at a kitchen table. You clamp it so that it'll put that in there like that, so won't slide on you so much, because it does slide a lot. But all he did is it's just aluminum, and he just took and, you know, worked a little section out so that the stone would fit in there, or you flip it over. That's all there is to it. I'll see if I can find it. I may still have that VHS tape, and it may say what the guy's name is that made them. I don't know if he's still making them or not. Let me see if that's all in the picture. Yeah, I think so. Let me adjust this a little. There. All right. And so the way it works with your sharpening stone, yeah, I can't really tell. I said this stone is from the 90s too, but you just set it in there. a little sharpening, honing oil on it. And let's see, I'll start with my everyday pocket knife, which this is probably, I bought this in 87, so this is what, almost, it was probably the end of 87, so it's probably just a little over 31 years ago. It's a Buck Lite. It's my everyday knife for just around the farm here. I used to carry it everywhere, but they started frowning on that. All right, now, what did I do with the set screw? So you just put it in, and lock it in place. And I even do my small pocket knife like this. I'll even do those blades. And all I do is I just try to grip it at the very edge down here. That's showing up at the very edge of these small pocket knives. So take that off after you set it. And I've got this set, it's supposedly set at a little over 15, maybe 16 degrees, which I didn't know I had to set that low. So you just set it in there and you just go back and forth. And when you come up like this, it's still holding the same angle, supposedly. I never measured it, but that was the claim anyway. And then when you're ready to flip it, you just flip it. And yeah, you're doing all your work kind of in the middle, and sometimes I'll move it so that I get in a different area. But like I said, I've had it since probably the 98, 99, somewhere in that range. I still remember the video watching it. He said, you know, you keep going until you can feel the little feather on there, which I'm nowhere near that. And and you just keep going like that. Bang, flip it over. I kind of pause the video for a little bit because this was going to take a while. I adjust this back up. I don't know why I got it down to 16 or so degrees. I don't need that for a pocket knife. I got it up to 20 now. But I don't know if you can hear. Get close. So I got an edge all the way across it. And he said in that video, once you get to that point, you know, you start counting, do like 10 times on one side, which I'm not counting because I'm talking. And you do 10 times on the other side. That way you keep it even. Of course, that spring helps it. And then you know, start cutting down, do maybe 5 or 6, and then 5 or 6. And every time you're flipping that little feather over. Usually by then I'll wipe this off and I'll switch over to this side, finer side. You can see the spring goes up and down as you come across the front point. But it's supposed to maintain that angle. I'll just quit here so that since you're sitting there watching me sharpen this whole thing. Yeah. So, and that's about it. And you just unscrew it, take it out, wipe it off. And an old piece of leather here. I don't know how well it'll strop, but we'll try it. Okay, so this was the main one I did, and the way I stropped it after I sharpened it, and pretty sharp. And I kind of went fast forward through the rest of them because I wanted to show you my other knives. Like this here shorter one, it went through okay, and oops, doing all right. This here one, this paper's kind of damp. Anyway. That one's so. It has having a hard time grabbing this, but you have to grab it right along the edge and get it to hold. I got it too far down and actually started scraping the aluminum on it. I had to stop. Now this was just an old, rusty and dirty. This was an old knife in somebody else's shop that I ended up getting some of their stuff and got it with it. And I mean, it was no edge. I mean, the front was just about as dull as the back. And I don't know if I got it very sharp. I can't really get a feather to come up on it. So it may not be, it's not quite as sharp, but it definitely feels, it's way sharper than it was. I mean, I could run my thumb up and down it and not do anything. But I didn't get to a feather. I don't really have it's sharper, but it could get sharper than it is. But it just stays out here for a utility knife. Was going to do this old fillet knife, same thing. It's dull as a rock. I don't think it cut anything. But I didn't sharpen it. It just stays out here too. So, anyway, that's how it works. I put a little more effort into my pocket knife. Anyway, that's it. I'm all done, and I'll put it all back up. Get through, I just set it back in here, put that in there, set that in. See, I keep my old rags in there, so when I use it again, I've got some rags. And I'll take that back up to the house. Thanks for watching. Hope you subscribe and like the channel and all that fun stuff.